What really happened in those final days before Yu Menglong's shocking death? The entertainment industry has been rocked to its core as two of China's most beloved stars, Kai and Tan Songyun, have made the unprecedented decision to reveal their last private conversations with the late actor Yu Menglong, who tragically passed away last September. The messages, which have now surfaced publicly, contain what many are calling a desperate plea for help that was allegedly missed or ignored. Could this tragedy have been prevented? Were there warning signs that everyone failed to see? The revelations have sent shockwaves through millions of fans worldwide, leaving them devastated, angry, and demanding answers about what truly transpired in the weeks leading up to Yu Menglong's untimely demise. The disclosure came without warning during what was supposed to be a routine promotional event, but instead turned into an emotional confession that has left the entire Chinese entertainment community reeling in disbelief. Why would Kai and Tan Songyun choose this moment to expose such deeply personal and potentially damaging information? What prompted them to break their silence after months of keeping these haunting messages private? Insiders claim that both actors have been carrying an unbearable burden of guilt since September, wrestling with the question of whether they could have done something different, something more, to save their friend and colleague. The weight of those unanswered messages, the cryptic calls for help that now seem so obvious in hindsight, has apparently become too heavy to bear in silence. The decision to go public represents either an act of courage or a desperate attempt at redemption, depending on who you ask, but one thing is certain: the entertainment world will never look at this tragedy the same way again. Industry veterans are calling this the most controversial celebrity revelation in recent memory, with legal experts already questioning the implications of sharing private communications with a deceased individual. Was there something sinister being covered up? Did powerful figures in the entertainment industry deliberately ignore Yu Menglong's desperate situation? The timing of this revelation has raised countless eyebrows, coming just as new projects featuring both Kai and Tan Songyun are set to premiere. Critics have wasted no time accusing the stars of using their deceased friend's memory for publicity, while defenders argue that this painful disclosure is a necessary step toward justice and mental health awareness, in an industry notorious for its brutal pressures and hidden darkness. The truth, as these newly revealed messages suggest, may be far more disturbing than anyone could have imagined, painting a picture of an industry that failed one of its own when he needed help the most. The shocking revelations began during a press conference that was originally scheduled to promote an upcoming television series. Kai, known for his roles in popular dramas that have captivated audiences across Asia, suddenly deviated from the scripted questions and answers. His voice breaking with emotion, the actor pulled out his phone and began reading messages that he said had haunted him every single day since Yu Menglong's death. The room fell into stunned silence as Kai revealed that Yu Menglong had reached out to him just 3 weeks before his death, sending messages that now appear to be obvious cries for help. The messages reportedly contained phrases that suggested Yu Menglong was struggling with overwhelming pressure, feeling isolated despite being surrounded by people, and expressing fears about his future in the entertainment industry. Kai admitted, with tears streaming down his face, that he had responded with what he thought were encouraging words but now realizes he completely missed the severity of his friend's mental and emotional crisis. What makes this revelation even more devastating is the specific content of those messages that Kai chose to share with the public. According to the actor, Yu Menglong wrote about feeling trapped in a situation he couldn't escape, mentioned that he felt like he was disappointing everyone around him, and expressed concern that his career was effectively over despite his young age. The messages painted a portrait of a man who felt cornered by circumstances that seemed insurmountable at the time. Kai disclosed that Yu Menglong specifically asked for advice on how to handle intense pressure from production companies, and whether it was normal to feel completely exhausted despite getting adequate sleep. These details have sent shockwaves through the entertainment community, because they highlight the often invisible mental health crisis that many performers face behind their public personas. The question that now haunts everyone who knew Yu Menglong is painfully simple yet impossibly complex. Why didn't anyone recognize these as the warning signs they so clearly were? Tan Songyun's revelations were equally harrowing and perhaps even more controversial due to the nature of her final exchanges with Yu Menglong. The actress, who has built a reputation for her wholesome image and relatable on-screen presence, revealed that she had multiple conversations with Yu Menglong in the month leading up to his death. Unlike Su Kai's disclosure, Tan Songyun actually shared screenshots of portions of their chat history, though she carefully redacted certain information for privacy reasons. The visible portions of the conversation show Yu Menglong reaching out late at night, asking if Tan Songyun was awake and if she had time to talk about something important. The actress revealed that while she responded to some messages, there were instances when she was too busy with her own filming schedule to engage in extended conversations. She broke down completely while admitting that Yu Menglong's final message to her, sent just 5 days before his death, went unanswered for 3 days because she had been overwhelmed with work commitments. The content of Yu Menglong's messages to Tan Songyun appears to have been more direct than those sent to Su Kai. According to Tan Songyun's tearful account, Yu Menglong explicitly mentioned feeling like he had made mistakes that he couldn't fix and asked if she thought people could truly recover from devastating professional setbacks. He reportedly inquired about whether she had ever felt so overwhelmed by negative comments and criticism that she wanted to disappear entirely from public life. These messages, viewed through the tragic lens of what happened next, now read as a person desperately seeking reassurance and perhaps even intervention, reaching out to someone he trusted in the hope of finding a lifeline. Tan Songyun's decision to share these private conversations has been met with both praise for her bravery and criticism for potentially violating Yu Menglong's privacy, even in death. However, the actress maintains that she is sharing this information not for attention, but because she believes the industry needs to confront the reality of how it treats its performers and how warning signs are systematically ignored or dismissed. The circumstances surrounding Yu Menglong's death in September have been the subject of intense speculation since the news first broke. Official reports at the time were vague, citing natural causes without providing specific details that would satisfy the public's demand for answers. Family members requested privacy, and there was minimal coverage in mainstream entertainment news, which many found suspicious given Yu Menglong's rising profile in the industry. The lack of transparency fueled rumors and conspiracy theories, with some suggesting that powerful figures wanted to suppress information about the real circumstances of his death. Now, with Su Kai and Tan Songyun coming forward with these revelations about desperate pleas for help in the weeks before September, many are demanding a thorough investigation into whether Yu Menglong's death could have been prevented and whether anyone in the industry bears responsibility for failing to act on obvious warning signs. What has made this situation even more explosive is the revelation that Yu Menglong apparently reached out to multiple people in the industry, not just Su Kai and Tan Songyun. Sources close to the situation claim that at least 6 other actors, producers, and industry professionals received similar messages from Yu Menglong in the final weeks of his life. Each message contained subtle or not-so-subtle indicators that he was struggling with serious personal and professional challenges. The fact that none of these individuals apparently recognized the severity of the situation, or if they did, failed to take meaningful action, has sparked outrage among fans and mental health advocates. Critics are now asking whether the entertainment industry has created such a culture of competition and individual survival that people have lost the ability or willingness to truly support their colleagues in crisis. The revelations have exposed what many see as a systemic failure rather than individual oversights. Entertainment industry insiders have begun speaking out about the immense pressures that young actors face, particularly in the Chinese market where competition is fierce and public scrutiny is relentless. Yu Menglong, despite his talent and growing recognition, was reportedly struggling with several professional setbacks in the months before his death. According to sources who have now come forward following Su Kai and Tan Songyun's revelations, Yu Menglong had been dropped from at least 2 major projects due to factors beyond his control. There were rumors of disagreements with powerful producers, concerns about his marketability, and the brutal reality that newer, younger faces were constantly emerging to replace actors who hadn't yet achieved top-tier status. For someone who had dedicated years to building a career,